How much money was it supposed to be?
100,000 on Dolphy.
Memphis police chief is asking everyone to stay home tonight after rapper Young Dolph is gunned down and killed at a South Memphis cookie shop.
A hit on whose head?
Big Jook had a hit on Dolphy or whatnot.
How much money was it supposed to be?
100,000 on Dolphy.
Gotti might be next in the Fed's crosshairs. Word on the streets says they're quietly stacking a case that could connect him to Young Dolph's tragic end. And the wildest part? The juiciest clues aren't whispers. They're leaking right out of the courtroom, with Hernandez Govin's trial set to shake the whole game. Rumor is Govin already cut a deal, and that deal might point fingers at Gotti and his brother Big Jook, who not long after those whispers started, turned up dead under suspicious circumstances. Now here's the real question nobody wants to ask out loud. Was Big Jook keeping quiet, protect Yo Gotti? Let's be real. Life was running too smooth for Gotti to gamble at all. He had Angela Simmons on his arm. CMG's roster was killing the charts. His brand was hotter than ever. Throwing all that away over some dusty old beef? That would have been reckless. So did somebody make a calculated move to clear the board before things got messy? And don't forget, the trial itself has been pushed back so many times it feels like a mixtape that never drops. But now it's locked in. August 18th, 2025. The day is set. And Govin isn't some throwaway player either. Prosecutors are charging him with first-degree murder, conspiracy, and claims that he orchestrated the kind of hit that had Memphis frozen. The Young Dolph hit in 2021 still echoes through the city, and now it's getting stranger by the day. On July 29th, Judge Jennifer Mitchell sealed the motions and rulings tight. No public access, no peeking, nothing, and nobody's explained why. That's not how these cases usually move, especially when it's tied to one of Memphis' most loved legends. When a courtroom goes that silent, it usually means one of two things. Big names are getting shielded, or backroom deals are already in motion. Either way, it's raising eyebrows. And here's the piece that had the streets talking loud. Hernandez Govin is out on bond, walking free like nothing's wrong. A $90,000 bond at that. He even violated it once and still got it reinstated. Think about that. The alleged mastermind behind a major plot. Strolling the block while his co-defendants, Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith, sit rotting in jail. Insiders are calling it plain. This doesn't smell like normal legal strategy. This smells like cooperation. Some believe Govin already gave the feds what they wanted. Maybe even dropped names like Big Jook or Gotti himself. And when you line up the timing, the sealed files, the reinstated bond, and a trial about to launch with the key man walking around free, it doesn't feel random. It feels calculated. This courtroom showdown could blow the Dolph case wide open. And if Yodi's name so much as slips out, it could mark the biggest fall from the top Memphis rap has ever seen. Now, the spotlight on Gotti is only burning hotter. Prosecutors have already said in open court that Big Jook allegedly put up $100,000 to erase Dolph from the picture. Court records and street whispers point to Hernandez Govin as the middleman, the link between the shooters, the cash, and the target. Picture a chessboard. Govin played strategy, Big Jook moved the pieces, and CMG might have been the board itself. But here's the twist, the two alleged shooters? Instead of splitting that six-figure payday, reports say they only got between $800 and $1,500 each. And that money came from Jook, not directly from Gotti. That detail blew the conversation wide open. Was it a CMG finance move, or was Jook running his own play? Because if the trail leads back to CMG, even indirectly, Yodi's empire could find itself under a federal microscope. That changes everything. And timing matters. Big Jook was killed in January 2024. Less than a year before Govin's trial. That's way too clean to be coincidence. By then, Govin was already in custody, and whispers were swirling that he might flip. Then suddenly, Jook is gone. Some say it was Dolph's people seeking revenge. Others believe it was something colder. A cleanup, erasing a key player before he could be used as leverage. Either way, it shifted the whole landscape, put the puzzle together. A sealed trial. Govin walking free. Yo Gotti saying nothing about Jook's death. That silence doesn't just feel respectful. It feels calculated. Gotti's been keeping a poker face, acting like life's business as usual. But behind the curtain, people are whispering he's quietly locking down CMG, bracing for impact. Because if Govin starts dropping names in court, the next obvious target is Gotti himself. And here's why that matters. It's not just a court date on the horizon. It's the fact that the one man who might have taken a fall for Gotti is gone. Big Jook wasn't just his brother. He was a money man, the logistics plug, the bridge tying CMG to the triggermen. His death shook Memphis like a silent bomb. No suspects, no arrests, just a powerful street figure erased outside a restaurant, hours after family funeral. That didn't feel random. That felt surgical. And what really keeps the whispers alive? How Gotti moved after. Or rather, how he didn't. No statements. No emotional posts. No defense of his brother's name. Just silence. And in Memphis, silence screams. If Jook had been working alone, or if it was just some random beef, you'd expect Gotti to step out and clear the air. But he didn't. And that's why people believe it was a revenge. It was a cleanup, a move to buy time, to keep certain names off the paperwork. Some folks even say Jook's death bought Gotti breathing room, to tighten his legal game before the storm hit. But losing Jook was only the first domino. His personal life took a hit too. Not long after, Angela Simmons walked away. No messy drama, no shade, just a soft-spoken breakup with words like, all love and my choice. But the timing? Weeks before Govin's trial finally got locked in, that spoke volumes without her saying much at all. People blamed the breakup on Gotti's schedule or his rumored closeness with Glorilla, but others saw the legal smoke. Angela's no rookie. She knows when the feds circle, headlines don't just hit the target. They splash on everyone in the frame. And being tied to Gotti while whispers of conspiracy still lingered, that could have put her in the splash zone. Her exit wasn't heartbreak. It was strategy. A graceful escape before the real storm hit. It was chess. A quiet, strategic step out of the blast zone before everything exploded. With Angela gone, Gotti's circle looks smaller than it's ever been. No brother. No ride or die. Just pressure stacking as the trial creeps closer. And Angela wasn't the only one who vanished without a scene. Black Youngster dipped, too. And you don't even need TMZ to tell you something's off. All you gotta do is scroll his Instagram. This was the same man who built a brand out being loud, flashing stacks, clowning rivals, and making headlines every time he opened his mouth. Now, radio silence. For someone who made being loud his whole identity, this sudden blackout isn't just weird, it's eerie. By 2025, his presence is almost gone, and fans are noticing. Insiders are noticing. Everyone's noticing. Some say he's laying low on purpose. Maybe Gotti told him to fall back, stay quiet, and not draw heat while the Govin trial ticks closer. Others whisper it's deeper than that Youngster might already be under restrictions, or worse, tucked away somewhere with the whole thing being kept quiet. Either way, CMG doesn't feel the same. The energy is different. The flashy branding has been swapped for clean, quiet, neutral. It's like the whole camp is in stealth mode, bracing for a storm. And let's not forget Youngster's history with Dolph. The open disrespect, the back-and-forth shots, the tension that never let up. If anybody was going to speak up, it would have been him. But this time, nothing. No posts, no subs, no shots. Whether it's loyalty, fear, or a bigger legal game plan, nobody knows. But the silence is too perfectly timed to ignore. It doesn't look random. It looks coordinated. And if you know how the feds move, you know the playbook. They start small and climb the ladder. First the shooters, then the middleman, then the money man. And when the structure's mapped out, loyalty cracks and the dominoes fall. That's when they go after boss. Right now, Gotti looks more and more like that end target. Justin Johnson and Cornelia Smith are already locked in. And word is one of them flipped, naming names, explaining payouts, handing over the story. That's the kind of leverage that turns life sentences into bargaining chips. And all eyes are locked on Hernandez Govin. If he's really cooperating, the feds aren't stopping at the triggermen. They're digging for who funded, who mapped, and who greenlit the move. If he's dropped text threads, Cash App receipts, or anything tying CMG leadership to the hit, That's the kind of evidence that flips the whole thing into RICO territory. And once the feds can prove a network planned, bankrolled, and executed a hit, that's not street beef anymore. That's an enterprise, a criminal organization. The pressure isn't rising. It's boiling over. And every piece of this puzzle loops back to that day in 2021, when young Dolph was gunned down in broad daylight at Makita's Cookies, a loss that rocked Memphis, a moment that's now unraveling into something far bigger than anyone thought. Because if prosecutors connect the dots, shooters, middlemen, bankroll, it stops being about one man's murder. It becomes a full-scale RICO takedown, with the boss sitting right at the top of the list. And if that day comes, Gotti's name won't just get mentioned. It'll be stamped across paperwork in bold. That kind of indictment wouldn't just hit Memphis. It would shake the entire rap game.